की स्थापना हुई थी, आज समय आ गया है कि हम शिक्षा को भी डेमोक्रेटाइज करें।
The National Digital Library of India is truly built of the people, by the people and for the people. It is our knowledge legacy to future generations.
ఈ ఉద్యమాన్ని దేశ నలుమూలలా వ్యాపింపజేసి ప్రజలకు మంచి నాణ్యమైన చదువు అందించాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా ఏర్పడింది.
छोटे बच्चे हैं जो पूरी प्रिविलेज नहीं ले पाते सी बुक्स दी या जर्नल्स दी कुछ अच्छा मटीरियल जिस तो वो वांझे रह जाते सी उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके नाल मिल सकता है।
इंटरनेटर सहायत मोबाइल टेक्नोलॉजी और कम्प्यूटर यूज करी भारतर सकलो शिक्षार्थीये सकलो ठाइर পৰা नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया यूज কৰিব পাৰে।
शिक्षण पद्धति है, व्यवहारिक ज्ञान है, थीसिस है, डिसर्टेशन्स है।
நாங்கள் இந்த தேசிய லைசன்ஸ் பயன்படுத்துவதனால இந்த நூலகத்தின் உள்ளடக்கத்தை எல்லோரும் இலவசமாக நாடு தழுவி பயன்படுத்தலாம்।
আমাদের ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি এমন একটা প্ল্যাটফর্ম যা আমাদের সভ্যতা, সংস্কৃতি এবং শিক্ষার সম্পদকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখতে সাহায্য করে।
The true success of a library lies with its users. Hence, I invite all of India to make use of this platform.
I am National Digital Library of India.
I am in National Digital Library of India.
I am the National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया।
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया।
నేను నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా.
હું છું नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया।
நான் இந்தியாவின் தேசிய நூலகம்.
मी निरुपमा बावडेकर नॅशनल डिजिटल लायब्ररी ऑफ इंडिया आहे।
I am National Digital Library of India.
मैं नेशनल डिजिटल लाइब्रेरी ऑफ इंडिया।
আমি ন্যাশনাল ডিজিটাল লাইব্রেরি।
We are National Digital Library of India.
Okay, so that was a quick video about NDLI. So for people who are not able to listen to this audio, it means your audio has not yet been connected. Just click on the bottom left icon. And I have sent you the chat message. Kindly rename your screen name. So I will take 2 more minutes. I'm giving you 2 more minutes too, because after removing, you will not be able to rejoin the webinar. I'm humbly requesting you, because you must be waiting for a few hours to join this webinar. I don't want to disappoint you. Kindly request you to rename your screen and join your audio. Without audio, you will not be able to listen to us. Ms. Archana Kulkarni, Mr. Arindam Banerjee, Balwinder Singh, Debashish Bera, Moto G5, Sergeant CS, Sarvesh Singh, Sureka Panted, V. Lingarajan. This is the last request. Please, kindly, because you are 10 of you who are not able to listen to us. So kindly join your audio. I have sent you the chat message. Kindly join the audio. Otherwise, I will have to remove you from the webinar. (31FF7B88). Kindly rename your screen as well. Mr. V. Lingarajan, Ms. Sureka Pantet, SMG36H, because due to security reasons, we need to know whom we are talking to. Mr. Sarvesh Singh, Mr. Sergeant CS, Redmi Note 7 Pro, Nadi Mezan, Moto G4, Nana Pandidan, Debashish Bera, Galaxy M30s, Balwinder Singh, Archana Kulkarni. So these are the people whose audio has not yet been connected. And this is the last warning I'm giving you. And we will be able to otherwise, in the worst case scenario, we might have to remove you from the webinar, and we will include like other people who are waiting to join. Okay, so the last few minutes are over, so I'm going to remove them. I'm really sorry. In future, if you join a webinar, kindly connect the audio by clicking on the join audio icon. Mr. Debashish Pora, Mr. Debashish, I have given you, I have written the chat. And I'm going to send you a independent message. Ms. Archala Kulkarni, Galaxy M30s, Nanapandidan, Moto G4, Redmi Note 7 Pro, Sergeant CS, Sarvesh Singh, Sureka Pandit, V. Lingarajan. So these people, they have not joined your audio. I don't have any other option except to take you out from this webinar. I am extremely sorry for this. I am forced to do this. Just give me a few more minutes before we begin the session. Just one more minute, please. Okay, so we have done the cleanup. We are 97 people, and all of your audio has been connected. So now we are good to start the session. And I'm sorry for starting late because we have to do the housekeeping things properly. I don't want anybody to share their screens. That's going to be a huge security issue. Okay, so let's begin the presentation. Are you able to see the presentation? If yes, kindly send me a chat message. Yes, visible. Thank you, Dr. Nikhil and Subhas Reddy. Thank you so much for the feedback. So now I will start the session. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Vignesh. I'm part of the National Digital Library of India team, and I look up to the outreach of NDLI to various educational institutions and all the Indian citizens. And today we are going to look at few things. Why NDLI and who is this for? What kind of content we have at NDLI? How to access NDLI? What is the difference between NDLI and Google? And how to operate NDLI Club? Okay, so these are the 6 things we are going to see. So before we begin the session, I just wanted to give you a brief background about how NDLI was conceived and why it came into picture. So like during 2014 and 15, the then Hemachadi minister, like when they were, she muted this idea of bringing out or collating various open and knowledge resources that are available into a single common platform so that these knowledge resources can be taken forward to every educational institution in the country, and through them it will reach every youth of this country. So that was the idea that she mooted. And IIT Kharagpur, which was very keen on this topic, they immediately mooted this idea of National Digital Library of India, and which was like approved by the MHRD team, and it came into existence as a pilot project in 2016, right? So when we started, we had uh, very few resources with so I request you to kindly stop the video because it's going to consume a lot of bandwidth and it's also a security risk. Kindly don't start your video or don't share your screen. My humble request to each one of you. And that's going to distract my presentation as well. Okay, so we begin as a very small uh, initiative with very few lakh resources and very few thousand users. And today NDLI is having closer to 4.8 crore content in 300 languages from 278 content contributors, around 55 lakh registered users. So this is the statistics as of today. So now let's look at why NDLI. So if you look at this India map, except very few states like Kerala, Goa, Tripura and Mizoram, where the literacy level is above 90%. In rest of the states, it's say 85%, below 80%. In the northern belt, it's below 75% also. So this is one fact. The other fact that is coming in front of us is every month, at least 10 lakh people, which means 10 lakh youths are turning into age 18, which means they are getting into higher educational stream. So that requires, if we have to give quality education to all these youths who are turning age into age 18, India needs at least 6 universities and 270 colleges every month to bridge this education divide. So that would in turn require huge amount of financial resources. And even if we invest those amount of resources, will you, if you ask me like whether they will be sustainable on their own, we don't know, because we have seen already a lot of educational institutions getting closed. So the government of India looked at various alternate solutions, the digital solutions, like NDLI, Swayam Prabha, NPTEL, Gyan. All these things are supplementary and complementary learning resources. And now if you look at why NDLI, so in the physical libraries, we have some limitations. Say, for example, if there is a resource, right? In a library, you may have, say, 5 copies or 10 copies at a max, or maybe in some exceptional cases, you may have few more copies. But if you look at the number of people who want to access it, it would be in running into some hundreds. So there is going to be a challenge of a limited number of resources being accessed by a very limited number of users. So that is one thing. And the second thing is, in the physical library, like students or somebody can hide the resources in some corner of the library. Mr. Dr. Rambabu, kindly stop your video. So that is second challenge. And the third challenge we have in front of us is, even if the resource is there in the physical library, even if it's there in the physical library, the resources could be hidden, say or might be damaged. Say, for example, one chapter could have been toned off, or somebody might have like underlined with pencil or pen. So these things are happening in real time scenario. Apart from this, in the last few years, the budget for libraries have drastically come down. So, for example, earlier it used to be say few lakhs, say for example 20 lakhs for a medium-sized institution, that has come down to 2 lakhs or 3 lakh rupees. So the budget for libraries have drastically come down. The institute have their own reason for doing that. And also, you can't have like if there is a library with say 3-story or 4-story, you can have few lakh resources, but you can't have say 1 million resources in the same infrastructure. You need to create a lot of physical infrastructure to accommodate these resources. And also see, in this time of lockdown, you can imagine, though we may have every resource at your physical library, you cannot access it. So digital library can actually pave the way for accessing these resources even during the time of lockdown. So uh, this is the perspective of NDLI and why NDLI came into existence. And NDLI was formally dedicated to the nation on 19 June 2018 by the then MHRD minister to the nation. So now let's look at what do we actually have at NDLI. At NDLI, we primarily store only the metadata. And metadata is nothing but data about data. In crude way, we can put as basic information about the resource. Say, for example, the title of the resource, who is the author, who is the publisher, what is the number of pages, what is the abstract, what are the subjects it's being covered. So this is called metadata. So we store only the metadata. And if you ask me, like, where is the original full text available? So we actually don't produce content, or we don't digitize content. We actually work with various educational research and publishing industry. What we do is we actually provide them a repository, integrating platform. We act as an integrator. What we do is, say for example, we go to say IIT Mumbai, right? We go to them and then we request them, if you want to share your non-copyrighted open resources, you can create an idea. We help them in creating the idea, and we use DSpace. We help them in creating an idea, and then we also give them the metadata schema that we follow. We give them the metadata fields which we require, and then we just ingest the metadata into our NDLI repository. The original full text resource lies with IIT Mumbai only, IIT Bombay only. We don't store the full text in our repository. This is available only with the host institution. So whenever a user searches, say for example, somebody searches on the topic of artificial intelligence, and if the resource is available with, say, content partner of IIT Bombay, so what we do is we find this resource is available with IIT Bombay. Once they click, we direct them to IIT Bombay, and IIT Bombay, if they ask for if it comes, they validate the user, and if it is a legitimate user, they give the full text access. So that is how it works. So what type of content we have at NDLI? So basically we have three types of content. One is born digital content, which is, say for example, you typed your thesis in the computer and you converted this into a PDF and gave it to university as in a DVD. So and then the university put this on the like Shodh Ganga repository. So that is called born digital object. The second type of content we may have is a physical object of a digital surrogate of a physical object. That means, say for example, 20 years or 25 years back, the thesis might have been handwritten or typewritten. So that may be available only in the hard copy form. So what we do is we take out the thesis, we scan it, and then convert this into a PDF file, and then we upload. So this is called digital surrogate of a physical object. And the third type of content we have is only the metadata. We don't store any full text of this. So these are the three types of content we may have at NDLI. And NDLI doesn't store any full text version. We only ingest the metadata for search and browse, and the content is directly delivered from the source itself. So as I said, we actually primarily act as the content integrator. And so you name any major centrally sponsored institution, be it an IIT, IIM, NIT, research institutions like IISc, CMFRI. So all these institutions, we have collaboration. And so far we have collaborated with around 278 content contributors. What type of content we have at NDLI? So this is as per DDC classification. DDC stands for Dewey Decimal Classification. This is one form of classifying the library resources. And for people from the library science background, they understand it better. If you are not from the library science background, kindly go and do a Google search to understand better. So computer science, information and general works, we have closer to 99 lakh resources. Philosophy and psychology, 6.1 crore resources, 6.1 lakh resources. Religion, 2 lakh resources. Social sciences, 45 lakhs. Language, 1 lakh. Natural sciences and mathematics, 83 lakhs. Technology, 1.04 lakhs. The arts, fine and decorative arts, 4.5 lakhs. Literature and rhetoric, 7.8 lakhs. History and geography, 6.1 lakhs. So this is the content classification. In total, we have closer to 4.8 crore total resources. And this is the list of top 20 content contributors. So World eBook Library, they've contributed around 77 lakh resources. So in fact, the government of India has procured national licensing from World eBook Library so that the Indian citizen can access these resources at free of cost. They don't have to subscribe to this resource. Then what type of content we have? So we have ebooks, we have articles, we have lecture slides, we have video lectures, we have audio lectures, we have class notes, we have term papers, assignments, solutions, lab experiments, case studies, question banks, answer solutions, manuscripts, thesis, dissertations, you name any form of educational or knowledge resources, they are available at NDLI. And article is the most highest number of resources that we have. We have closer to 2.97 crore resources as articles. Out of 4.8 crore, 2.9 crore resources are articles, followed by books, which are 64 lakhs, reports, which are 12 lakhs, notes, which are 11 lakhs, law acts, which are 8.7 lakhs, law judgments, 8.7 lakhs, technical reports, 7.1 lakh, thesis, 6.4 lakhs, historical records, 5.3 lakhs, video lectures, 3.6 lakhs. So this is the access option. Okay, so you can see, so below every search, if every search item, you will see 3 icons. So the first icon denotes the access option. So there are various access options available. First one is a lock, which is open. This is called open access. So you will get full text when the lock is open. When there is a man with the NDLI written on it, this is called primarily for NDL registered users. This also gives full text access. And there is a black color with shield written. It's called limited access. Only part of the text is available. And the next one is subscribe. Suppose this means, for example, your institution is subscribed to IEEE or Springer, and you can actually access them from NDLI itself. And the last access option is restricted. So these access are only by from their own institute available. They are not allowed for other outside institutions. So these are the 5 types of access options that are available at NDLI. So this is the access right-wise content. Open resources dominate the list. 2.74 crore resources are open resources. NDLI resources are 77 lakh resources. If you combine these two, we have 3.61 crore resources that are full text resources. So that means 75% of our resources are full text access resources, which can be downloaded and used for educational purposes. So if you ask me like what this content is meant for whom, we have content for every age group. So starting from school going children to college going youths, professionals who get into work, academicians and researchers, edupreneurs and lifelong learners. So we have resources for everyone. Now let's look at how to access NDLI. So accessing NDLI is very simple. You go to Google or any other search engine, just search for National Digital Library of India. So the first URL that you will get is ndl.iitkgp.ac.in. So you have to just click on this URL, then this is how the home page looks like. Okay, so this is the NDLI homepage. So this is the pop-up window. So I will talk about this pop-up window in a little short while. So you just close this, and then you can enter the search keyword. So for searching the keyword, so there is a, on the top you will see a search box. Just enter the keyword, right keyword, without any spelling mistake. So if you make any spelling mistake, or if you don't choose the correct search keyword, then you will not get the desired results. So the first search keyword that I used is history of English literature. Okay, and then on the left hand side there are filters. There are about 10 filters. Say starting with access restriction is one filter, author is the second filter, subject category is the third filter, educational degree is the fourth filter, difficulty level is the fifth filter, educational level is the seventh filter, file format is the eighth filter, language is the ninth filter, learning resource type is the 10th filter, source is the 11th filter, and to make it more easier we have an additional filter called content type, which is text, audio, video. These, from this you can narrow down the results. So these are the filters that you may want to remember. So in the quiz you may have a question on filters also, so just remember. So history of English literature. So and then I chose subject category of language and literature. I got 6.74 lakh resources on the topic of history of English literature. And the next topic I searched was on modern India. So here I applied two filters. One is I wanted only full text resources. So what I did was I went to access restriction, and then I chose in open and NDLI, that gives only full text resources. And then subject category I went and chose history and geography. I got 20,000 results on the topic of modern India. And the next topic I chose was Indian constitutional law. And the next search was on 1984, which is one of the top 10 novels in the world, written by George Orwell. So here you can see there are two results. So first it is written HUN, which means Hungarian. So this resource is available in Hungarian, and here it is written ENG, which means it is available in English also. So you can just click here and then download the resources. And the next topic I searched was on sociology. Here I wanted only video lectures on the topic of sociology. So what I did was, on the right hand side I went, and there is a content type called video. I just clicked on video. I got 455 results on the topic of sociology. And the next topic I searched was microeconomics. Here I wanted it from the source of Asim Premji Foundation and MIT courseware. So just have to choose, and then you get the results of 251 results. Next topic, human physiology. I wanted it only from video. So I got 12,788 videos. And then I searched for a topic called engineering mechanics. Here I wanted it from a specific author called Sudarshan Iyengar. So I went to author, chose Sudarshan Iyengar. I got 862 video lectures on the topic of engineering mechanics. Then I searched for artificial intelligence under the subject category of computer science and technology from the source of MIT Open Courseware. So I got 64 results on the topic of artificial intelligence. Next topic, pedagogy of science. So there is a source called TeacherTube. So we have 84,941 resources on the topic of pedagogy of science from TeacherTube. Then I searched for rural marketing, subject category technology. I got 1,38,000 results. So as I mentioned earlier, so during this lockdown time due to COVID-19 pandemic, so our team has actually classified the resources into various educational level and disciplines. Say for example, you can see there is a school tab, UG engineering, UG science, UG other disciplines, language, management, and law. So these are the educational level and disciplines. So suppose if you want content from school, just click on this school, you will get all the releases, all the resources related to schools. Suppose if you want resources for management only, management discipline, just click on management. Suppose if you want it for engineering, just click on engineering. And also our team has actually collated various research resources repository on COVID-19 research. So if you click this, then you will get all the resources which are related to COVID-19. And the next topic, so now let us look at how to download a resource from NDLI. So the last topic I searched was research methodology. And suppose if I want to download this research, so I just have to click. Once I click, it will take me to this page. Okay, so there are two tabs here. First one is content and the second one is metadata. So you have to click on this metadata. So metadata, as I mentioned, it gives the basic information about the resource. So you can check the title, who is the source, content type, publisher, file format, language, subject domain, subject keyword, educational role, learning resource type, and publisher date. Okay, so this gives the basic information. Suppose if you find it useful, the next thing you need to look at is access restriction. So this is a open resource, which means you can download the entire content. And after this, what you need to do is check on the right most corner, top rightmost corner. Here it shows Vignesh Suramagan, which means I have already logged in. Okay, so then what you can do is just click on content. Once you click on content, this entire document will come down on your laptop or desktop or on mobile phone, depending on the device you use. It will download. Now you can use it for educational purposes. You can share it with your friends or family members. That is allowed. Imagine, suppose if I have here, you can see I have not logged in. So once you click on content, this page will open. It will ask you to please log in to view this content. It will ask you to log in. So once you click on this login, this pop-up window will appear. Okay, so here, suppose if you are already registered at NDLI, just put your email ID and password and CAPTCHA and then click on login. Then you will be able to download the entire resources. So suppose if you have registered at NDLI few months back or few years back, but you forgot your password. So in that case, what you need to do is click on account recovery. Once you click on this account recovery, you will get this pop-up window where it will ask you for giving the registered email ID. So just enter your email ID and then submit. Once you submit, you will get a verification email to reset your password. So once you click on that URL, you will be asked to enter the new password. You enter the new password and set the password. That's it. Then you can come back and put your email and password and the CAPTCHA and login. Suppose if you have never registered at NDLI, it will ask you to register. Or if you have forgotten both your email ID and password, then you need to click on register button. This will open the registration form where it will ask for full name, email ID, password, and confirm password. These are the 4 fields which are mandatory. Rest of the fields like date of birth, gender, state, city, educational role, these are all optional fields. You fill all the details and then submit. Once you submit, you will get a verification email in your registered email. Then just click on that registered email. Your account will be activated and then you can log in and start using it. So this is a one-time process. Okay, for registration it won't take more than 5 minutes. So suppose if it's a video lecture, so this will open in the video in the frame itself. So as I mentioned earlier, for using NDLI, you need to remember 2 important aspects. The first aspect is you must know the search topic properly, search keyword properly, and without any spelling mistake. That is the first aspect. And the second important aspect is understand the various filter options that are available so that you can narrow down the results. These are the 2 things that you need to know. So I'm going to talk about few important, though there are about 11 or 12 filters, I'm going to talk about some 8 important filters. The first important filter is access restriction. Suppose if you want only full text, what will you do? Just click on open and NDLI, you will get only the full text resources. Suppose if you want author-wise search, so you can just go and choose the relevant author and then you can narrow down the results by subject category. Say for example, if you such a topic called agricultural technology. It may come under both social sciences as well as technology. So choose both, you will get the relevant results. And the next filter is file format. Suppose if you want only PDF files, click on PDF, you will get only the PDF files. And the fifth filter is language. So there are about, NDLA is available in around 300 languages, and you can choose the language of your choice and then narrow down the results. Next important filter is learning resource type. Okay, here you can check various types of learning resource types. I think there are about at least 60 such learning resource type that are available. You can see them on the learning resource type filter. And the next important filter is source. I told you there are 278 content partners, and all of them are listed here. So whoever, say for example, if the content or the search topic that you've searched, Bloomsbury might give you the better result. Just click on Bloomsbury. It will give you the desired results. And the last filter is, which is available on the right hand side, that is content type. So you can quickly narrow down the results to content type easily. So these are the 8 important filter options. There are other filter options like educational level, difficulty level, and educational degree. So apart from this, you can change the entire NDLI website into various language interfaces, Indian language interfaces. So if, for example, you can like view the website in Hindi, Bangla, Gujarati, Telugu is also available now, Kannada, Oriya, Marathi, and Tamil. Malayalam is also available now. So this will help people who can't read English to navigate it in their own language also. And also our team has actually developed this entire app, entire NDLI into both in the mobile app. It's available both on Android as well as on iOS. So what you need to do is, in order to access use our mobile app, is just go to Play Store or iStore and then search for National Digital Library of India. You will get this logo. So you have to be very careful. This is the logo of NDLI, and you check the name of the publisher, National Digital Library of India. It means this is from National Digital Library of India, and then you click on install. You will be able to install the app. Okay, and it is also available on Bookbank app. So now let us look at how to use the NDLI Android app. So once you install the app, just click on the app. So this will open. This is the home page of NDLI app. Okay, so here you can see National Digital Library of India, this icon. By clicking this, you will be able to see the login option and your basic profile of NDLI. And this search icon will be helping you to search the topic. So once you click this, you will be able to see the search box. So here I typed the topic of Uttar Pradesh and then clicked on search in the keypad. I got 41,573 results on the topic of Uttar Pradesh. So to narrow down the results, I just have to click on this orange color icon. So in the desktop application, the filter options were available on the left hand side, also on the right hand side. But in the mobile app, this is available only at the bottom right corner in the orange color and white combination icon. So you just have to click. Then on the third screen, you can see on the top all the filter options which we saw on the desktop application. So you can actually scroll down to see the relevant filter. So here what I did was, I went to source tab, source filter, and then clicked on Aligarh Muslim University and then clicked on apply. I got 199 results on the topic of Uttar Pradesh. So this is how we have to use the NDLI mobile app. Okay, so before we move further, I'm going to give you a small activity to all of you. So the activity is going to have 2 parts. The first part is, you need to download the NDLI mobile app from the Play Store or from the iStore and install the app. Suppose if you have already done, very good. Suppose if you have not done, kindly download and install the mobile app. And the second part of the activity that you need to do is, search for the topic of your interest and your subject of study or subject of teaching. Okay, so I want you to do this exercise for 5 minutes. Now it's 3:13 in my system. So I'm going to give you 7 minutes till 3:20. We will resume the session. But during this time, I want you to search for the topic of your interest and or study or teaching. Okay. And then let me know in the chat window by typing you install the app and you searched which topic and whether the app or the NDLI is useful or not. So you have to put it in the chat message. And now it's 3:14. And during this session, what you can also do is you can turn on your video so that I can take some screenshot for reporting purposes. Okay, so you can turn on your video and you can install the app and search for the topic of your interest or subject of study or teaching. Okay, so Mr. Rahul Solangi has already installed the app. Thank you. You have to search for the topic of your interest and then see whether the resources are available and is it useful or not. Mr. Salvaraju already installed. Good. So people who attended the session in the morning, you may leave the meeting. Because you will be issued only one certificate. If you have already attended, there is no reason why you have to attend it again, because there are still a lot of people who want to join the meeting, but due to lack of space, they are not able to join. So people who already attended the meeting, you may kindly leave even now. So you can turn off your video now because I've taken the screenshot. So people who have searched, kindly let me know what the topic you searched and whether you found it useful or not. Mr. Atanu only searched on literature. Okay. Prashanka Rabindranath. Okay, good. Human resource management. Thank you. So kindly don't share your screen because it's going to distract the other participants. Social sciences and community and culture, Ms. Brinda D. Thank you. Yes, found sir on topic library science based library service. Okay. So sir, I'm always searching the sources related with music and dance. So kindly don't share your screen, please. Commonwealth literature. Okay, Ms. Priyanka. I find topic of library science. I searched for install and I searched heat transfer. Okay, searched for the topic library classification, library science. Hari Lakshmi, library information science, or Umama Mageshwari economics, balanced scorecard, Mr. Santosh Kajinder, political science, chemistry, plant physiology, development communication, macroeconomics, accounting, agriculture biotechnology, LIS research, Burhan Pamuk. Okay, install and search for artificial intelligence. Good. Library and information, human resource management. I search cricket history, story of cricket, mass advertising and mass communication, Chitra Lakshmi, chemistry, social work methods, library web blogs, research methodology, power grid. Okay, a lot of topics. I'm information literature, Gandhian literature, French language, downloaded and found article on image of librarian. Okay, that's interesting. So I again request people who attended the session in the morning, you may leave the session because there are still a lot of people who are waiting to join. Okay, so now genetic algorithms, Sivarani. Yeah. Okay, good. So now let's resume the session. So before we resume the uh, before we resume the session, I again want to repeat. Um, at the end of the session, we will be having uh, a quick quiz come feedback session. So I will be sharing an URL with all of you. You can fill this form uh, after the session is over, and also you can ask few questions. So that is allowed. So kindly don't share your screen, please. Kindly don't share your screen. Kindly don't start your video, please. And if you are finding this app useful, and if you see you can actually take forward this resources, it's you can do it. Actually, you what you need to do is just spread this information about NDLI to your friends, family members, relatives, and your own students and fellow faculty members. So if you could also, if you even if you could share it in with 100 people in the next 1 hour, so we will be able to reach at least 10,000 people. So spreading knowledge is the best donation that you can do to the humanity. So kindly do this service to the humanity by spreading this information. So now we will start the session. So now we are going to look at what is the, so is the presentation visible? Okay, so now I will start the presentation. Now let's look at what is the difference between Google and NDLI with the help of an example. So imagine there is a girl called Payal who is studying in class 8 and she is studying in Hindi medium. She wants to know about physics, magnetism topic in physics. And there is another guy called Shamik who also wants to apply for a PhD position on the topic of magnetism. So both of them go to Google and they search for the topic called magnetism, and both of them got the same results. They got 1.89 crore results. Okay, and then they came to NDLI and they searched for the same topic and they got 11,16,000 results. Now what Payal did is she went to the filters. There is a filter called educational level. She applied 5th to 8th standard and language she chose as Hindi and she got 8 results. Whereas Shamik, he went to like same educational level, he chose career and technical paper and he got 219 results. Now let's look at, from this example, let's look at what is the difference between Google and NDLI. The content, so let's, before we get into this, let's understand how Google functions. So what Google does is, suppose if you give a term called magnetism, it will go around the entire world wide web. Wherever this term magnetism is there, it will pull the results. Okay, and it will pull and show it in front of you. But it can't distinguish whether this is coming from an authentic source or from an unauthentic source, whether it is an educational content or a non-educational content, whether it is relevant for the user or irrelevant for the user, whether it is real or fake. So Google can't distinguish. Google treats everyone as equal. On the other hand, what NDLI does is we actually collaborate with trusted educational research and publishing partners, and they are all into educational work only. So we actually curate the content and then we bring only educational content for our users. And the second difference is, in Google you can't filter, but whereas at NDLI you can narrow down using the various filter options that are available. You may remember the various filter options that we saw on the left hand side, on the right hand side. In the mobile app, it's available on the orange color icon. And the next difference is you can modify based on the content type. And the last difference is we started procuring national license. The government of India has started procuring national license from the publishers. We have already procured national license from World eBook Library and South Asia Archives. So this is some of the uniqueness about NDLI. So we have closer to 24,000 institutional partners who access our resources, with 55 lakh registered users and 23 lakh active users. We have 11 lakh mobile app downloads, and in the last 1 month after lockdown, the website hit has been like anywhere between 3 to 5 lakh every day. So the big picture is, so already you have the option to credit transfer and virtual certification mechanism, under which you can augment about 20 credits from Swayam, Swayamprabha, NPTEL and Gyan. So that is available. In future, if you have the access to the internet and if you have a digital device, you can pursue a certificate or a diploma program from sitting at home only. So that is possible. So now let's look at how to operate NDLI. Now let's look at how to operate NDLI club in your own institution. See, the purpose of creating NDLI club is to promote the culture of reading. So you may know like how many students actually read their own textbooks, and how many students actually come to the library to read it. So the usage of library has drastically come down. So in order to promote that culture of reading, so the government of India is encouraging various educational institutions to set up NDLI clubs with the objective of promoting the culture of reading and taking forward the knowledge resources of NDLI to every Indian citizen. So how do we do it? So what you need to do is first identify at least one student from each class and one faculty member from each department, with librarian or any other faculty member as the secretary and principal as the chairman. And this list has to be approved by the head of the institution. Once they approve, you need to apply for the NDLI club registration. So this is how the NDLI club registration temporary form looks like. You just have to enter the details and then submit. Once you submit, we do a back-end verification of Port your institute, and then we will issue a certificate of registration. So what you need to do is, so once you register the certificate, within 30 days of receipt, you need to do one important thing. That is, you have to conduct an awareness session for all your NDLA club members, and then the NDLA club members have to go back and conduct an awareness session for their own fellow students and faculty members, and then collect their details, which I will talk about it shortly. So 3 details for the faculty and students: their email ID, first name and last name. Capture all these 3 details and put it in an Excel sheet, and then you have to send it to our email ID, which is ndl-support@iitkgp.ac.in, with a copy to my email ID, which is vignesh@ndl.gov.in or vigneshjnu@gmail.com. So once you send it to us, we will do a bulk registration of your students and faculty members. So they will get an automated verification email. So you have to, we will give a temporary password in the email itself. Just have to ask them to click on the URL and then enter the temporary password. Then their account will be activated. Suppose, like if you want your friends or family members who are studying or doing research, they want to access, they can also do an individual registration. So how to do individual registration? Go to the home page. So sorry for this, I have a small 5-month-old baby, so I have to she's just woke up and she's disturbed. She wants to come to me, so kindly bear with me for this. So on the right hand bottom corner, you have a button called register. So just click on this button called register. Once you click on this button, this NDL registration form will open. So you have to enter your full name, email ID, password and confirm password. So these just give me a moment. I'm sorry about that. So just enter your full name, email ID, password and confirm password. These 4 details are mandatory, rest of the details are optional. And then you enter the CAPTCHA and then click on this terms and condition and then sign up. Click on sign up. Then you will get a verification email. Just click on that URL, your account will be activated. So this is the first part. After receiving the certificate of registration, within 30 days, you have to register all the users, both students and faculty members. And then you have to conduct every month at least one reading or knowledge related activity. So these activities could be in the form of a lecture series or a quiz competition or a storytelling session, go fish session, film screening, drawing competition, role play, writing competition, maker space or debate. So these are just indicative list of activities, and you have to upload this report every month. Okay, so these are some of the activities being conducted by various NDLI clubs. So far around 152 clubs are active across the country, and we also have devised a incentive mechanism for best performing NDLI club at the district, state and national level. And we are also started conducting reading Olympiads. So we conducted a Coimbatore District Olympiad last year, and we will be conducting district Olympiad and state Olympiad and national Olympiad very shortly. And if any of you are interested in conducting the Olympiads, kindly send me an email separately. We would be happy to consider your request. Okay, so this is my contact details. My name is Dr. Vignesh Swarnamohan. My email ID is vignesh@ndl.gov.in, and my personal email ID is vigneshjnu@gmail.com. And I'm available on the mobile number of 9999654458. So my best way of reaching out to me is send me an email. Most probably I will reply within 24 to 48 hours. In worst case scenario, if I don't respond, so kindly send me an message on SMS or WhatsApp with clear details of who you are, what information or help you require from my end. Then I will get back to you, because most of the times, even now, I missed at least 7-8 missed calls, and without most of them, I have not. I don't have their number, so I may not be able to understand their requirement. So I request you, in case if I don't pick up your call, so kindly email me or send me a message or WhatsApp on this number. And for bulk registration related queries, you have to contact my colleague, Mr. Rajendra Singh, on ndl-support@iitkgp.ac.in, and his mobile number is 8197564857. Okay, and this is what I wanted to share it with all of you. And now it's time for one important thing, which is the quiz and the feedback form. Okay, so I'm going to put this URL here. So this is the, don't put any message now. For the next few minutes, I have just put the URL for the feedback form. Okay, so you just click on this URL, it will take you to the NDLI feedback quiz cum feedback session. So there are questions like your institution name, name of the participant, date of the webinar, which is today. Don't put your date of birth. This is, please read all the questions before you respond. Please read all the questions, because I have seen a lot of people putting their date of birth in the date of the webinar, and then your designation, your email ID, your mobile number, and then do you have a login account for NDLI? That means have you already registered at NDLI? Name the various filter options available at NDLI. I told you various filter options that are available. There are 12 filters. You have to at least recall some 5 to 10 filter options that you remember. If you don't remember, kindly go to the NDLI website or mobile app and find out what are the filter options available, and then what are the various learning resource types available in NDLI. That also you can go to the NDLI app or system and check NDLI content available in how many languages. I told you the answer for this question. List out 5 access options available. So I told you open NDLI are 2 access options, recollect the remaining 3 access options, and then how NDLI is different from Google, and how NDLI helps you to your learning during COVID-19 lockdown situation. Write in 100 words. Overall feedback about NDLI, any suggestions for NDLI to consider, feedback about the online webinar conducted by Dr. Vignesh. So this is the quick questionnaire that quiz cum feedback form that we have created. I've shared the URL with all of you. So kindly give the feedback. I will give you 30 minutes time. As you submit the feedback, you can leave the meeting. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, kindly send me send it to me separately. Don't send it to everyone. Kindly send it to me separately so that I can read your question, and then respond. Link not open. Let me open for you. Suppose if your internet is very slow, the link may not open. So I just clicked on the link. It is opening for me. Mr. Selvaraju, the link is opening. So what you need to do is find out a place where you get better connectivity and then you open it. Please read all the questions, understand the question, and then reply. Don't reply it in a hurry, because in the morning session and also the yesterday session, out of 100 people, only 50 people responded properly. Remaining people, they didn't even understand what the question was. And if you have any questions, you can also ask me. You can send me separate message. I will respond to you. So Mr. Ranjit, what is your question? Fauzia Rafat. I couldn't find any link, so I have just sent you the link. I'm going to send you to your chat again. Just give me a moment. So kindly don't share your screen, please. Dr. Logeshwari, kindly don't share your screen. Okay, for people who are not able to open the link, I can from your mobile phone, I can send it to your email. So kindly put it to me in the chat window. I've already got requests from Priya Venkatesh, Vishal Jadhav, few more people, Shubha, Geeta. So these people have given the request. I'm going to send it to you shortly. I'm going to put the URL again. Sushma Singh.